Hey everybody, Miss Jessica here again, and welcome to day 23 of our December daily draws. I can't believe it's almost time for Christmas. Now today we're going to be making a sweater, and it's going to look all snuggly and cozy on whoever you decide to draw. And I want you guys to think about what is on your sweater. I'm going to make mine kind of look like an ugly sweater because those are really fun to wear during this time of the year. But you can make it look like any kind you want. Today I'm going to be using markers and chalk pastels, but feel free to use whatever materials you do have. And I'll remind you of all of our color scheme in just a little bit. So let's go ahead and get started to draw. Grab your paper you're going to need for today and turn it up and down vertical. Then somewhere write number 23 at the top. Now make sure to always have your pencil, but I'm going to use my Sharpie. Now, for the start of this, we're going to do the collar of our sweater. It's going to be really big. So I'm going to start in about the middle, and I'm going to draw a curved line from one side to the other. Again, this is the collar, so think about how big that sweater is going to be. I made mine extra big looking, so it looks more cozy. Now, on top of that, we're going to draw the head. We're going to go ahead and just start there. And we're going to draw a rainbow that kind of curves around from one side to the other. You don't need to make it too big. This is just going to be about forehead, eyes, and that's it. You won't see nose or mouth. Now, we're going to do our hair first. For hair, you guys can do anything you want. Short hair, long hair, ponytail, pigtails. Have fun with that. So let's start with the part on the inside first. So we're going to curve it down on each side. Now I'm going to make mine kind of parted in the middle. You can do it to the side. Maybe instead it's just kind of one swoop. But everyone has some sort of hair inside, even if it's up in a ponytail. Let's go ahead and real quick add our eyes before we continue our hair. So in the middle, we're going to draw two curved lines that go up. And when we curve these up, it looks like our person is smiling because they're really happy and cozy. Then, since it's kind of cold outside, since they're wearing a sweater, we're going to draw little circles for the cheeks. You don't have to add these, but if you'd like, you can. You can also put eyelashes on if you want to, or again, you do not have to, whatever you would like. But we don't see the nose, we don't see the mouth, because they're just so snuggled up in that sweater. Now, before we continue the hair, let's go ahead and draw our sweater. The reason why is because if you want long hair like this person here, it's going to touch the arms, so we need to draw those first. Let's start at the ends of our little head here. We're going to draw a letter C and a backward C. Or swap that around. Once you've drawn those, just connect it together with a curved line. And that again is going to be the collar of the sweater, meaning that's kind of high up by the face. At the ends, where those kind of C's were, we're going to draw two curved lines down, making it nice and big to show it's a big, comfy, fluffy sweater. And we're going to add the arms. So I'm going to go back up to my sweater, and I'm going to draw two more curved lines down, 1 and 2. And then that way I can decorate my sweater later as well. Now, if you don't want those to go to the top, you can just erase some and have it start about halfway. All right, now we can start to draw our hair. So if you do want short hair, go ahead, you can add some. I'm going to make mine long, so I'm going to start up at the top above my head, and I'm going to curve and curl it downward. You can also just make it straight, not a problem. I'm going to do that on both sides and stop when I get to the arms of the sweater. So go ahead and add whatever kind of hair you want. Now we all have this line inside. We don't want that anymore. So take your eraser. I'm going to use a marker to show you, but I want you to take your eraser and erase this line in the middle of the head. Now I'm using red because I can't erase a Sharpie, but you can erase your markers. So please go ahead and erase that line. And now, my friends, is the fun part. We're going to decorate our sweater. I'm going to draw mine with polka dot sleeves and a Christmas tree, but you can do anything you want. Maybe there's another holiday you celebrate that you would like to draw something inside. Maybe you want to put lights to decorate it. Maybe you just want to have a fun pattern like zigzags or stripes. Have fun and do whatever you'd like to that Christmas or holiday sweater. But for me, I'm going to do polka dots on my sleeves. So I'm just going to be adding some circles. Maybe some circles are in a line. So have some fun with that. I'll do that on both sides. That's super important. Spreading those around. Nice big polka dots. You could do stripes, would be really fun too. And then I'm gonna add my Christmas tree. Now I forgot to remind you, but hopefully you remembered. Anytime you need to take more time on your drawing, just press pause and press play when you're ready. Now for my Christmas tree, I'm gonna start at the top with a star. So I'm just gonna draw a star like this. But when I go to trace it later, then I can erase the lines on the inside and just have the outside of a star. So whatever helps you to make a star on the top of the tree, go ahead and do that if you're following me. Underneath, I'm going to start to add the parts of the tree curving down. Now, everyone draws trees differently, so have fun with that. I'll curve those in, down again. Notice trees get wider as they go down. Curve those back in. And the last one's going to be the longest. And I can't forget the tree stump. Now, if you want to just leave it a regular tree, you could, or you can decorate it. So I'm going to add some zigzaggy lines here to look like maybe the garland. I can draw circles for Christmas ornaments and spread those around my tree. Whatever you would like to do, go ahead and add some things to decorate now. Now, one last thing I'd like to show you is up here on the top, you can make stripes or leave it plain. I'm going to just do these lines to make it look maybe like the ribbing of the sweater. And that, my friends, is the end of our draw. So please make sure you pause and finish all of your creativity that you want to add. I'm not going to do anything on the outside, but if you'd like to draw more, you can. Just pause and press play when you're ready to color and to trace. All right, so hopefully you finished drawing everything. Now we're going to trace our lines. When we do, it should look a little bit more like this. No red or lines in the middle of the forehead. We erased any lines we didn't need anymore on our tree or on our creativity. So grab a Sharpie and trace everything you see. You don't need to color anything in, just trace it. So pause that video, trace your cute picture, and press play when you're ready to start coloring. All right, so it's time to color. Grab your markers and we are going to begin. We're not going to color everything all at once. And I would love to remind you guys that you can use any material that you have and our color scheme. We have red, green, blue, some blacks and whites as well. You can even bring in a little gold and silver. That's always a great one for this time of the year. So I'm going to start with my hair. For my hair, I can do any color I want. Maybe you're making yourself or someone you know. I'm going to use black though today because that's one of our colors for our color scheme. So let's grab a color for that hair and let's begin to fill it in. Now when I use a marker, first I want to outline around so that way I don't miss any white spots. Outlining always helps. So I'm going to take that marker, go all the way around, trying to get all the white spots around the scarf, part of the sleeve. Now maybe your hair is much smaller than mine. Probably won't take you as much time to fill it in. Maybe you drew a little bit more. But then once you're done, just go ahead and fill that in with long lines going the same direction. Trying to make it look like the hair is curving down over that head. Get all those white spots. Notice I'm doing nice lines, and it fills that in really, really nicely. Okay, almost done, but make sure to take your time. Always pause that video if you need to spend more time filling in the hair. Now, after our hair, we're going to move to some cheeks. You guys can use any color, maybe red or pink. I'm going to use a maroonish color I have and just fill those in. If you didn't draw cheeks, then no worries. And after that, we're going to color in the small decorations on our sweater. Don't fill in the whole thing. We're going to use chalk pastels to do the rest. So I'm going to start with my sleeves, and I'm just going to do some red polka dots. So I'm going to use my red, and I'm just going to nicely outline and fill those in. But again, you might have done something different. So use the colors that you would like and fill in all the small details. So again, small things. I wouldn't color in the whole sleeve, just the things that are on it, maybe stripes, polka dots, whatever it might be. Okay, good job. Keep coloring. Again, try to get all those white spaces And then maybe think about a tree. If you drew a tree like me, I don't want to color my whole tree green. That might take me a long time. So instead, I'm going to show you guys something cool you can try. You can do it on anything you might have drawn. I'm going to use my red, and I'm going to just color in my ornaments as well. And then I can just work on other things. So the trunk of the tree, which is going to be brown. Just continue to fill in whatever creativity you have. Some yellow for my star, so it's shining. Maybe even a gold if you have a gold marker or crayon or something like that. It would look really cool. Now for my tree, if you're not ready, that's okay. Just pause and press play when you are. I'm going to use green, any kind of green I want. So I'm going to use this lighter green, and I'm just going to draw up and down lines inside, maybe some side to side, short ones, and it looks as though there's maybe pine needles on the tree, like a real Christmas tree, or a real pine tree would look like during the winter. Then I can take maybe a darker green, and I could add some more, so that way it looks a little more like a real tree with highlights and shadows and different kinds of greens. So again, just adding more lines, not coloring anything in, just lots and lots of lines. And that, you guys, is going to be one of the last things we work on, but please finish any other details. Maybe up here at the top, you just want to trace some of the lines that you made. Maybe you want to color in the stripes. I'm just going to use some greens just to trace my lines. And then I'll use chalk pastel on the rest, but if you'd like to color in your stripes with different colors, you can. But that's going to be the end of markers, and I'm going to move into chalk. Please make sure to pause and finish anything you didn't get to, and then when you're ready, press play, and we'll go ahead and start. Now, for our chalk today, we're going to use just a couple colors, or whatever colors you have and would like to use. I'm going to start with the face. Now, there's many different kinds of chalk, especially if you have the big box, but any browns or tans or gold colors are going to look really good on your person. So grab the color you'd like. I have kind of this goldish peach tan color. I'm just going to lay it down flat and pinch, and I'm going to just add a couple lines up and down. Now, I don't want to add too much because then I'll have a lot of dust. Once you're done, take your two fingers and just blend all that around. And if you have some extra dust, just very carefully tap it on the table or dump it in the trash can. Now, if you want to add a little extra to make it more fun, I know we did cheeks with marker, but you could take a red or a pink and add a little bit on top of those cheeks and blend it, and it will look like the cheeks are extra rosy and red because during this time it's so cold and your cheeks kind of turn red. Now I'm actually going to grab my red out again. At this point for our sweater, you're just going to use whatever colors you want. But I do want to remind you that red and green don't mix well together. So if I put green chalk over my red dots, it'll make it look kind of dark, like a dark, dark brownish red, and that's not what I want. So use whatever colors you want for chalk. We're going to lay it down flat, pinch, and we're going to add just a couple lines on the inside. Again, leaving some white space. Taking our two fingers when we're done and just blending that red chalk nicely inside so that we don't see any white spaces. So go ahead and maybe work on those sleeves next. All right. Now, once you're done with those sleeves, grab the same color again. We're going to hold it like a pencil this time. And we're going to add some shading. So on the inside of the sleeve, we're going to use the top part, like the edge. We're going to add one line, not all the way around, just on the inside of the sleeves and at the top underneath the collar. And that's it. Put that away when you're done. Again, use the same color you used. Choose one finger, and you're just going to gently swirl that darker red or whatever color it is into your red or a color you already put, and it's going to look like shading, like there's a little bit of a shadow on that arm. More realistic. Now, my fingers are pretty red, so I'm going to go ahead and use a wipe that I have, or go wash your hands in the bathroom and rinse that off and wash it away because we're going to use green next, or maybe a different color. And anytime you switch colors, you want to make sure your fingers aren't too messy. So I'm going to take some of that off, dry them really good, and for me, I'm going to do some green up here on the collar. So I'm going to use a darker green, and I'm just going to lay it down and add a nice big line side to side. Then I can take my 2 fingers or 1 finger, I'm going to use my pinky, and I'm just going to blend all of that on there. Try not to get on my rags. Remember, it will mix and not look so good. And then we're going to add some shading. So whatever color you just used, grab it again once you're done blending. And draw one line using the edge, holding it like a pencil on the bottom. If you have a lighter version of your color, so for me I have a light green, grab that one and you're going to add one line of the lighter color at the top. Again, holding it like a pencil. Then using that one finger again, just blend the dark up into the bottom of the scarf and the light down into the rest of the scarf as well. Any leftover dust, you can just tap it or dump it in the trash can. Now for the middle of my scarf, I'm going to leave it white, but I'm going to add some shading. And I'm going to use blue. So I'm going to go ahead and wipe off my fingers so they're not too green. You can do any color you want. Again, maybe you are doing a different kind of sweater. And I'm going to grab a light blue, and I'm just going to hold it like a pencil this time. I'm not going to fill the whole thing in. And I'm going to outline the sides and the top. Then I'll put that away. Use that one finger like we've been doing, and we're going to blend the blue chalk into the white, and it's going to look like shading on the sweater. Maybe it's a white part of the sweater, but when the shading hits it, it looks a little bit blue. Great job, you guys. Now that is officially the end of our project. If you need to, maybe you see some fingerprints everywhere, take an eraser. You can just erase those fingerprints away. Maybe you got a little bit of chalk on the outside. You can, again, erase that away too. Or have fun and do a whole color around your character. I'm going to leave that up to you. Clean those hands really good. But that's officially the end of day 23's project of our nice cuddly sweater. Thank you for joining us here. My name is Miss Jessica, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye!